Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we're out driving the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade. I've been a big fan of the Palisade since it came out late in the 20-teens. I actually kind of liked it a little bit more than its corporate cousin, the Kia Telluride. Most people prefer the Telluride. I actually preferred the Palisade because it was always a little bit more city luxurious feeling, and I thought drove just a little bit better than the Kia as well from a powertrain standpoint. But it is entirely refreshed now. It looks dramatically different. It comes in 7 trims all the way up to this calligraphy model, but also featuring an all-new XRT Pro model. Now, Hyundai has had XRT models now for a number of years that sort of look the part of an off-roader, but this XRT Pro is the first one to actually have a degree of capability, giving you 18-inch wheels with proper all-terrain tires, an electric locking limited slip rear differential, and some drive modes and slightly different suspension tuning and a 1-inch lift to all make doing mild to moderate off-roading that much more capable with your 3-row crossover. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot to love about the Palisade. They've essentially taken what worked with the old model and changed what didn't in order to make overall still a very compelling product. Today I'm going to tell you some of my standout observations from our time with the car. It's not going to be necessarily a full comprehensive review, but I want to get across to you what you should know if you're the type that wants to run right out to the dealership and pick yourself up the newest and coolest, because this is right up there. The base model's starting off just a hair over $40,000 after destination, but you're probably going to want to get yourself into something like an SEL Convenience that's going to have things like the power liftgate. You might want to pay an extra few grand for all-wheel drive. And if you wait a little bit longer, you could actually pay a few $1,000s to get the hybrid powertrain. This one is the gasoline, the 3.5 naturally aspirated V6 and conventional transmission, but the hybrid model is going to give you the 2.5 turbo with a 6-speed conventional transmission and 2 electric motors, and should get somewhere around the low 30s in mixed driving fuel economy, which is pretty cool. What I appreciate about reviewing and driving Hyundai products, though, is how well thought out things are. There are elements of spending time with Hyundai, especially the new ones, that you go, oh, somebody actually spent time in this car during development and made meaningful, impactful changes to improve the quality of life. Here's a great example. If you're back here, you can fold both the second and third row seats all from this button. So you can either hit all and they all start folding, or you can individually move and fold certain seats right from here. I mean, that's great, because if you're loading something in here, then you don't want to have to walk up and move things around and adjust and set things down. No, you do it right from here. Very easy and straightforward to do. And then you get a nice flat load surface in order to use this like a 2-row. A little bit of underfloor storage right here. There we go. There's our kind of basic window sticker. 18 city, 24 highway, 20 all around. That's not anything crazy, good or bad for a vehicle of this size with no hybridization. Let's bring that third row seat back up. Power this liftgate down. Big wide opening door. Some sunshades there for your little kiddos. Keep the sun off them. In the second row in the calligraphy model, I mean, a lot of the functionality here, or the features in the calligraphy, are borderline luxurious. You've got heated and ventilated seats for this row. Look at that, powered seats. Is that going to get all the way up out of the way for us? Let's see it slide forward. Yeah, look at that. Now, it might take a little while, but very nicely done. Now, I've already sat back here, actually, and they've done something thoughtful as well in this heated third row in order to make this a nice place for both larger children and adults as well. You can, come on back now. You can slide the third row seats back and forth. So if you want something like more cargo room, then you can do that and kind of shrink this area, or you can slide the seat forward, power, and, well, I guess that would be giving you more cargo room, or you can slide it back and get more leg room here as an adult. So I can sit 5'10" and actually fit back here surprisingly comfortably because I've got the seat moved back. And then I could do something like press second row and scoot that seat forward to give myself even more room. Isn't that cool? Oh, nice. Coming up in here into the second row, we start to see some of the standout styling. They went with sort of a mid-century modern look in here. You can really tell that with the brown interior. We've got not a full panoramic roof, but I actually prefer that because that gives the second row climate controls up here as well as air vents. And if you're a parent, you know the benefit, or you might know or not know the benefit of having cool air blowing directly on your child in a car seat right here. That's huge. You could even, if you have a rear facing car seat, theoretically turn these this way, have air going on them both directions. Very smart. You got a wall style outlet there as well as a little bit of storage. Not a ton of kind of children features back here, a little bit more stripped back, but it is functional. Then coming up into the driver's seat, we start to see more of the unique design as well as, again, very smart functionality, like this column shifter. Some people might think, oh, that's a little weird to just have a column shifter slapped on there and have your engine stop start button. But what it does is it frees up so much more in the interior that now I have a nice wireless device charger here. I have 2 large cup holders, ton of center storage down here, 3 different USB-C ports, and a big center console. Not only that, but I have physical controls for volume and track, a climate control, nice physical clickable buttons on the steering wheel, 2 12.3-inch screens built in. Not the most advanced infotainment. Overall, I'm okay with that because I typically just have my phone running Android Auto as soon as I get in. But if you're somebody who likes a more advanced infotainment system, you're not exactly getting it from Hyundai. It's pretty bare bones. The calligraphy model here is now coming with a 14-speaker Bose sound system. They're abandoning the Harman Kardon that used to be found in the Palisade. We've got a separate review of it below. I think it's good, maybe slightly better than the Harman Kardon, but not exactly outstanding by any means. Another thing I kind of like, the sunshade cover is manual, which some people might see and go, oh, well, that's, there could be power, that'd be nicer. But no, I prefer the speed and simplicity of a power shade there, or a manual shade for the front, and then power for the rear, because obviously you can't reach back and open that one. A few other standout points for the Palisade lineup for 2026. Integrated dash cam, both front and rear. I was really happy when I saw that. However, you're only getting it in this calligraphy model, which I'm a bit disappointed. If you know, some other brands will give you a dash cam in all of their models. So it's disappointing to see brand new model here from Hyundai and you're having to step all the way up to the top level calligraphy trim, which is knocking on the door of $60,000 in order to get dash cam front and back. That's something I'd like to see at a lower price point. What else? Got the Bose system. Integrated trailer brake controller and tow functionality with a factory installed hitch receiver that will give you up to 5,000 pounds of towing capability in the XRT Pro, Limited, and Calligraphy models. Now, that doesn't mean you can't still get a 5,000 pound tow rating with the lower models. It just means that it might be a dealer installed hitch, or you go to U-Haul or something like that and get your hitch installed, and then you're going to have to install some sort of trailer brake controller as well. Now, I don't know if they're going to offer the tow mode and the trailer brake controller and everything built in for the lower models as a dealer installed option, but it's cool that they're at least giving you that option in the higher trims. So we're going to get this out on the road. I'm going to have Ken in the passenger seat. We're going to talk about the car a little bit, what it's offering here for 2026, and wrap up our initial thoughts on the new Palisade. Out here on the road, wrapping up our day and our thoughts here with the new Palisade. It's got a lot to offer. It's no surprise that Hyundai is giving you a lot of bang for your buck still here in 2025. The car's a little bit larger. They're going to make it larger and more comfortable than a lot of the competition. It's pretty straightforward. You've got this naturally aspirated engine in this one. Like I said, I personally would wait for the hybrid model coming out later this fall. That one's going to get you better fuel economy, going to be a little bit more powerful and smoother to drive, but no reason to shy away from this very straightforward naturally aspirated 3.5 V6. Styling is the real reason that you're going to want to run into the showroom and scoop one of these up. It's striking from the outside. It's unique from the inside. The curves, the big upfront IP here, the way that things look from the second row as well, the different colors that you can get, especially in this calligraphy model. But even in the more basic XRT that we were driving earlier, even when it was more just dark gray and black inside, it still has a presence with the way it's designed. From behind the wheel of something like this Palisade compared to something like a Grand Highlander or an Explorer or a Pilot, this does look and feel like a more unique product. I mean, it's certainly something that if you're going to go out and take out a 5 or 6 year loan on a new car, the Palisade's going to feel like one of your coolest options with this level of space inside. And the fact that you're paying somewhere in the $40,000 to just under $60,000 range, as opposed to getting up towards six figures for cars that are going to look and feel this cool from the inside, that's kind of cool. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some frustrations for me. When I've spent time in the new Hyundai Santa Fe, to me, that is one of the best executed vehicles that I've driven in the last however many years, 5, 6, 7, almost 10 years. Between the seating position, the interior layout, the powertrain, everything about that car works for me. Not quite the case here for the Palisade. As I mentioned, I've got Ken here in the passenger seat, and one of the first things that he and I both did when we got in the Palisade is we went to adjust our seating, and we went, oh, okay. So you're looking at almost $60,000, and you're getting a manually adjusted steering column. Again, not something I would complain about at all in something like the SEL Convenience. But once you start considering a nearly $60,000 price tag, it's something that you got to at least consider. And I know at first you're going to say, oh, Charlie, why do you need a power adjust steering column? That's just extra fanciness. Not necessarily, because this car has memory seats. That means if you're sharing the car with your spouse or your roommate, or I don't know why you have a 3-row car if you have roommates, if you're sharing the car with your spouse, then she gets in, she's 5'2" like my wife is, she presses the number 2 button or number 1. If there's a power adjusted steering column, then all of a sudden the steering wheel gets to her position as well, whereas with the manual adjust as we have now, she's going to have to make that manual adjustment right here, even though everything else is automatically done. So again, if you're talking a car that feels this luxurious, these little aspects add up to kind of be a little bit of a head scratcher. Next, there's something just outright strange about the seating position. When I was sitting passenger and Ken was driving, he was up really close to the steering wheel, and I gotta admit, I feel close to the IP as well. I mean, you and I both mentioned that we feel too far up. It feels like I'm driving a cargo van or something. The steering wheel...
Too far back, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't come out far enough, and the pedals don't come out far enough. I'm sure it was a styling aspect decision, something in the interior design, but it does feel a little strange, and admittedly, you mostly get used to that throughout the day driving the car, but it's something that you're going to want to test drive to make sure you fit and are comfortable with the seating position. All things considered, though, it's still the Palisade that I know and love. I mean, the first generation I really liked. This one's no different. It's the next evolution of Hyundai's design language. Things are well laid out, things work, they're straightforward. It's not exactly a very feature-heavy car from a technology standpoint, but to me, that's actually a little bit refreshing. And if I'm somebody who has a family and I've got kids and I'm a little bit budget conscious, I would rather get something that has a lot of useful functionality and maybe forgoes a little bit of the bleeding edge technology that some of the competitors have.
It's interesting the design cue leaves a space here. You know, you would think there would be a speaker or maybe a different color here. It just seems like this space is nice.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have something else here, maybe another storage.
Okay.
In here. That's what we think is missing.
Yeah.
The touch points all feel premium.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember that this is a sister company car,
mm-hmm.
so at least some of this may look a little familiar,
Mm-hmm.
but familiar or not, it all still works.
Mm-hmm.
The shifter, I know how you like that.
Yep.
The sound system is quite nice. The dual roofs
Mm-hmm.
is nice. You feel like you're in an extremely premium product, and Hyundai is knocking at the door of the premium section. Premium category.
Yeah.
Knocking at the door. They haven't quite crossed into it yet, but they're knocking.
They're knocking.
And will this make it better if this was? Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
It's really, really close. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see the benefit of having storage right there, which again, Santa Fe has. They certainly chose to go more formal for function for the Palisade. Are there shoppers out there in the 3-row category who are going to go that way? I think so. I think if you're a little bit more utilitarian, you go with the Toyota. You get the Grand Highlander. I think it was a bit smart for Hyundai to look at their strengths and their weaknesses in the market and go, hey, we've got design down pretty darn well. Let's lean into that a little bit with Palisade. That's what you've got. You've got a sharp and striking 3-row functional family crossover here for a respectable price point. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the new Palisade, check the link below. We've got that sound system review. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.